What's good? Council of Comics. It's Sunday, January 7th, 2024. And it's episode 69 of the Film and Box Office News. So it begins. Be back in 30 seconds.
What's good, Council of Comics? Welcome to the world's greatest comic book channel. Like Phil said, it's Sunday, January 7th, episode number 69. We're going over what? The Two Towers. The two of them. Let's go.
Black is like the brightest day. Where are the heroes? Soon as they get here, everything will be alright. I need a hero. Someone superhuman who can come and save my life. Crisis after crisis.
What is good, Council of Comics? Welcome to the Film and Box Office News Live podcast. We want to thank everybody for tuning in today. If you are not subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. Please hit that like button. We are on our journey to 1,000 subscribers, and we thank you for being here. As always, the loyal Council, Phil, Cliff, Green Shirt Guy. How are you today?
What's up? I won't be diverted today because we're not playing till later.
They're playing later. Like the Giants are playing right now, and they're winning up
Yep.
against the Eagles. Yep.
Football. Sunday
and
football.
Buffalo's in the playoffs no matter what because Jacksonville lost earlier. But
We
still
don't
be
want
nice
to talk
to
about those
beat
Buffalo
Miami,
Bills
win that
in
division.
playoffs, do we? We don't want to talk about those Bills in the playoffs, do we? Bring up them ghosts of the past, huh?
hey, now we're gonna win one. We're gonna win one. Say what you like.
I can remember.
About another month.
I had a good friend. I forgot what his name was. I had a good friend. I forgot what his name was. But anyway, he was a big Bills fan.
no!
He was a big Bills fan. And when we were on the fourth Super Bowl in a row, we just kept looking at him like, is this guy gonna like really do himself in to this game if he loses this game? And they lost, and he was just like, it is what it is, man. I'm like, you know, you're really mad, right? He's like, yeah.
That feat. I mean, it's obviously you want to win one, but that feat will never be repeated.
4 Super Bowls in a row losing?
No team's ever been to 3 in a row.
Listen, that's 4 AFC championships in a row.
It is.
You know what I mean?
It's wild. If you look at our record against the NFC over those 4 years, we had a better record than most teams. We were like 14-2 or something like that against the NFC, other than the Super Bowl.
All right, so let's get started with some of
The Giants gave you one of those L's.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, the Giants with that catch. Okay,
We
let's
lost to the
not do
NFC
it.
East. We literally lost to the NFC East.
All right, first up, Young at Heart Foundation. Shout out to our good friend Mike out in California. He does a great thing with this organization. They believe in faith, trust, and belief. And they do great things by helping out the kids out there that are awaiting transplants in the hospitals in California. You can be a part of this by either becoming a donor, going to the website and registering to become a donor. Press this button right here. Or sponsor a Hope Kit that's 100% tax deductible, where they take the funds and they get gifts and they put them in the box and they give it to the kids. They also set up nice little guests to come and visit the kids. They do a lot of great things. If you want to get in touch with Mike and be a part of this, you can give him a call at 323-396-9998 or email him at info@youngatheartfoundation.com. Great organization. Get in touch with Mike. Next up, Alternivus. This is our favorite comic shop. This is our home base away from home. But we do all our filming and we talk and we yell at each other and we cry and we hug and everything goes on here at the shop. It's our home away from home. It's in Hyde Park, New York. It's located at 870 Violet Avenue in Hyde Park, New York. They have comics, cards, and toys. They offer the Hudson Valley's best selection of comics. And if you get in touch with Anthony, who is the comic shop owner, Great guy, great friend of ours, also part of the council. He will give you 10% off your pull list, and then that includes all bags and boards. No extra charge for bags and boards on the comics. Get in touch with them. They also have card events that happen every weekend. Get in touch with them. Pokemon, Lorcana, Magic, tons of tournaments. Get in touch with them. They have great events. Get in touch with Anthony. You can give him a call at 845-233-4234 or email him at alternaverse2@aol.com. And the website is alternaverse.net. And of course, our channel, the Council of Comics. We are at 733 subscribers. We have tons of videos on the channel, including the lives. Trying to do some different things this year. Cliff is
Where
doing
was
a
I
great
for the
thing.
mail-in figures conversation? Because I had a bunch.
I don't know.
Was I
don't
the
know.
week I wasn't there? Maybe it was 1 week I was sick.
It's possible. That's the new council conversation, guys. That Green Shirt Guys talking about. We're talking about 80s mail-in action figures.
Enough for nothing.
I was-
thought this week's skit was the best one in a while.
Oh,
I was
What?
laughing.
Yeah.
I was laughing hysterically at that one. I know
Yeah,
you've done
I
some
enjoyed it
expansive
as well.
things and some
Again,
really, but I-
writing it about 20 minutes before.
it was
We're
to
about
the
to
point-
film.
I thought Phil was funny. I thought Cliff nailed it, and I mean I'm in it for about 10 seconds, but I was laughing hysterically at my little part too.
And the one before that, the line that had me really laughing is Maria, where she goes, "Pitiful lives indeed."
Right?
yes. So fun. If you actually look, next week's council conversation is Kamaria, Phil, and Joey, and they're talking about Barbie, Oppenheimer, and Mario 2, and a whole bunch of stuff. Cliff, when is your next trivia?
a week from tomorrow. No, a week from
tomorrow.
Tuesday.
Do you have your guest already for that?
Mm-hmm.
Who's going to be on there with you in your trivia?
I am gonna have Scotty Vaughn from Comic Book Addicts, and looks like I'm gonna have Immortal Biggie Shack as well.
Oh, nice. All right. So on Tuesday, Cliff has started a great new show. It's called Cliff Quest. It's amazing, extraordinary trivia where he puts this Jeopardy style thing up and he invites guests on and they just answer questions. And I guess whatever, I don't know how you do prizes or whatever, but it's really, really fun to watch. And I hope one day I will have time to go on Cliff's Quest because I've been answering all those questions. Maybe we should have a council Cliff's Quest.
I was gonna
where
say,
where me, Phil, and Green Shirt Guy.
We should
Oh.
do Council.
with all the money goes to charity.
You know, we probably could work that out. I gotta figure out how on earth we'll do it. But in the meantime, this Tuesday I'm on 10-1-1 with Gary B, where you bring 10 comics and then like one comic that's like really meaningful to you and like one comic that's like your own personal spec comic. So that's gonna be a lot of fun. And Wednesday, Madam and I are going to be doing a live watch of Batman and Robin.
I saw that up there. That's going to be fun.
That's going to be fun. And,
So you're calling it worst movies ever?
yes,
series?
but, right. If you notice, there's question marks, right? Because the idea is this truly one of the worst movies ever? You know, and like, we just like,
That's the Jim Carrey one, right?
no, this is the one with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Arnold Schwarzenegger and
Oh,
Uma
that-
Thurman,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
George
Batman-
Clooney.
I thought Batman Forever was the Schwarzenegger.
No, Batman Forever is the one
No.
with the Riddler.
Yeah. The
That's
fourth
Jim
one is
Carrey
the,
and Tommy Lee
It's
Jones.
the-
Right. Okay, I got him flipped in my head then. Yeah.
the fourth
Yeah.
one is when the vehicles go and then you see the wings flapping like they're plastic.
Correct. And it is also the one where Chris O'Donnell steals the Batmobile, if you remember, and goes down to the graffiti area.
Oh yeah.
And it has one of
remember
my
that.
favorite lines ever, where he rolls down the Batmobile, looks at that chick, and goes, "Hey, baby, want to take a ride in my love machine?" Freaking awesome.
By the way, we
That's a-
got a few things going on for it, but we have incorporated a drinking game, right? So when Poison Ivy, so it's little things like if Poison Ivy is introduced, or Bane is introduced, or Mr. Freeze is introduced, you do a shot, right? But then if they do something stupid, you have to do a sip because if you if you follow those rules of every time they do X, Y, or Z and it's a shot, we'll be dead in the first 33 minutes.
Oh my goodness.
So everything,
Jeez.
all the major things are a shot, and all the other things are tips.
Excellent. So subscribe to the channel, please. Hit that subscribe button. You'll be in touch with all these lovely shows. Let's give a shout out to some people here. Las Cruces 1971 says hello from New Mexico. Thank you, Las Cruces, for watching. You are always a loyal watcher. Comic Cap Collectibles is in the house. What's good? Thank you for joining us. Couching and Slouching with C Bizzle. Boom! They are in like Flynn. Go Lions. Jay Margolis is in the house. What's up, Cliff and the Council? We are chilling. How are you, Jay? All right. Boom, 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 boom. All right.
Oh, wait. C Bizzle asked if anybody plays Lorcana, and are you enjoying it?
It's fun.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. I'm enjoying it.
I've updated my deck. I have a deck I've been playing with the new
The floodboard stuff. Some
yeah, the
floodboard
floodboard
cards.
stuff. I added more stuff. I'm playing in an almost entirely purple deck.
Okay.
Ooh.
So
I think I'll join in the summertime when I don't
It's
have
fun.
a job.
it's a really easy game to learn to play, and has a lot of fun things. And they're adding locations with the next wave.
Okay.
So which I think is the end of this month is the next wave.
All right. Excellent. All right, so this is Film and Box Office News. So I want to talk about some stuff. And what I want to talk about is I saw Leave the World Behind today with Kamara. I wanted to throw my phone against the TV at the end of the movie. If you guys don't know what this movie is, this is a movie that's produced by Barack and Michelle Obama. And this is about a cyber attack that devastates the United States. But we only really see glimpses of it, and we only see it from the perspective of a family that's trying to get away for a weekend. And then the person they rented the house from comes back because they're coming from the city and something bad has happened. Have any of you guys seen this movie?
I have watched it.
No, I have not.
What did I watch? I watched a couple of movies this week, but not this one.
Cliff, what did you think of this movie?
I mean,
that's a rousing endorsement.
well,
right?
because this is not this is not a movie for everybody. As a theatrical piece, I like it and it's interesting, right? But as someone who likes, entertainment and a movie with a conclusion, this may not be exactly for you. So
It sounds like the movie I watched this week. So.
Oh, okay.
Yes, the conclusion made me be like,
I mean, honestly, if you want the short end of it, Sam,
the ending of this, like, okay, that's how this is gonna end.
Sam, if you think about it, if you just are blasé about it, it's like, damn, that little girl's gonna survive the end of the world. Because you're like, that girl found everything.
She's so
needed.
selfish, though. How selfish
No, it
is
wasn't
that
selfish.
little girl?
Dude, she found her way there. It is what it is. The whole series of Friends was waiting for her. I mean, come on.
That's okay. I'm not trying to spoil it for people that haven't watched it, but this little girl finds this place, and her whole family's in need of this place, and she decides she's just gonna binge on food and watch Friends while the world is dying.
But she's also not entirely aware of what's going on, right?
I mean, but can't somebody just grab her and be like, "All right, snap out of it. Friends is a TV show. This is reality that's going on right now."
I think they tried to do that.
Did they? Did they really try to do
Yeah,
that?
but they too were trying to figure out what the hell is going on.
I loved Kevin Bacon in it though.
He did a good job.
He
He
played one
did
of
a good
those
job. And he was pretty funny at
I was
certain
gonna
moments.
say that's
too.
like those top three on the names. Those are some pretty good names, like Julia Roberts, Michelle Ali.
Oh, it's got
Ethan
names.
Hawke.
Mahershala Ali.
Yeah.
Ethan Hawke was great in it too. Julia Roberts is pretty good in it. My thing is, if I hate you in a movie, you're doing a pretty good job. You know what I mean?
Right,
You're doing a good job
exactly,
if I don't like you in the movie.
You're nailing
Julia
it.
Roberts couldn't stand her in the movie. Sounds like, oh, she's
But
doing a great
you're
job.
supposed to be. You're
That
supposed to
doesn't
feel
mean
that
you're
way.
necessarily a good actor, though. If it's written well for you too.
Well, the thing is, the acting is not a problem in this movie. Everybody sells what they're given.
Yeah.
Right? But the storytelling is like Manny said it best. Like shit's going on, but we've got this outside perspective. We don't have the boots on the ground perspective, right? So that's really what you're getting.
Which leads me to believe there will be a sequel, because I don't think it can end right there.
Well, it's a Netflix
I
thing.
think it
so,
will be a
You
sequel.
know, it's in house anyway.
Yeah.
But even if
Yeah.
it's not a sequel,
So-
Sam, like, and it is based on a book, and the book ends on a question mark, literally, right?
Really?
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean anything.
No, because I actually watched an interview with the writer of the book who and his thoughts on the movie, and he actually enjoyed the movie. And basically, like, it is like what we're saying. He really did design it to be this character-focused thing, and we've got a very character-focused movie in the course of a very major event.
Oh,
So-
I just noticed it was by Sam Esmail.
Yeah.
Who's the guy who did Dr. Robot
Yes.
or Mr. Robot? I'm sorry, which is very open-ended at the end as well, and open for interpretation.
Oh,
But, you know,
Lady
overall, I would
Fantastic is
recommend
here. She's here for Lord of the
Hold on,
Rings.
would you recommend it overall?
What up, Lady Fantastic? She's here for Lord of the Rings. All right, Lady
There we
Fantastic.
go.
Give us a second. We gotta go through some stuff. That's for the next part. Don't worry. Manny the Hobgoblin
right, Sam.
Collector is also in the house. I get it, but you have great actors. You need to have to be character focused. Indeed. Kamaria says it was interesting with an upside down face.
So it's a recommendation,
Kenneth
though?
Bird is also in the house. What up, Kenneth? Huh?
You recommend it? It's a recommendation?
I recommend it. Like Manny the Hobgoblin said, it reminds me of the first Purge. Nice premise, but rather see the mayhem outside. Yeah, like you only see glimpses of the mayhem
Okay.
in little spurts. You see little glimpses. Like the whole Tesla thing, that was probably one of the most frightening things to me right there. When you watch the movie and you get to the scene of the Teslas, you'll know what I'm talking about. And I was like, yeah, that could totally happen today. And that's frightening. So I do recommend it. Yeah. So that's pretty cool. One more thing before we get to the box office. Echo comes out in 2 days,
Tomorrow.
my friend.
Tomorrow,
Okay.
I am
not 2 days.
the
Tomorrow. It comes
ninth.
out on Monday,
No,
doesn't
comes
it?
out January 9th.
No,
Nope,
Tuesday.
Oh,
January
that was
9th.
on Monday. Oh, my
Tuesday.
bad.
And listen, I am
Good. I
ready
won't
for
be
this.
distracted when I draw tomorrow.
You know why I'm ready for this? Because the showrunner has officially said that Daredevil and Punisher of Netflix shows are officially canon. They said they were waiting for all this, they had slight little mentions of it, but the TV shows were run by one company and the studio and the movies were run by Kevin Feige, and they said they were waiting for the right moment where they could say that it's all canon. That's not why they never mentioned it. But then they released this trailer that showed clips from the Netflix shows. And then he went on, did an interview. He said, yes, we can finally say that the Netflix shows are canon, which made me ecstatic. I was like, yes, that's what I want to hear. And
mean,
All of them,
he
or
also
so all
said
of
there's
Netflix?
Is that
That's like,
that big of a surprise, though?
I was gonna say it's not really a big surprise.
It's just it's
But-
official now. Like we all knew that was the case anyway.
But it was at a point where we were like, because remember they were talking about, oh, it's the same Daredevil, but it's a different universe Daredevil. You know what I mean? Like a
Yeah.
different Charlie Cox. They
mean,
said
come
stuff
on.
like that. Yeah.
Come on.
But
But that can't really be the case because when they used D'Onofrio in Hawkeye,
yeah, you knew it was coming.
It's clearly
Yeah.
the same guy.
You know,
But
but
again,
it
well,
did
even
look
that-
They
different.
officially didn't say it.
Charlie, like what
They
they
didn't
used,
say it,
Daredevil
but we
in
all knew it.
Spider-Man, in the Spider-Man movie too. He was-
Yeah.
And even in the shows, don't they
Uh,
allude to what's in the movies?
Right, but
Which one
because
was
they
where,
did
where
not.
they say at the where they
because
say,
they weren't
they talk about
officially-
the incident. And it's,
Right.
It's
But because
right.
they weren't official, like if you notice when Jessica Jones is fighting that woman who arranged to have her killed because her husband died during the incident, she
Right.
goes, "Why don't you go after the green guy or the flag waver?" Because they weren't allowed to say it.
Right.
Right?
Well, right.
But-
Right.
but what's
That makes
weird
sense,
is-
but-
They were allowed to. Every single Marvel show was allowed that was even non-MCU was allowed to reference Roxanne. Even Cloak and Dagger referenced Roxanne.
Right.
I thought that was interesting. And Luke Cage was not only referenced Roxanne, it referenced Hammer Technology and the
Oh, did
Hammer
it?
Corporation. So I thought that
didn't
was
finish
very
Cloak and
weird.
Dagger. Was Cloak and Dagger good at the end? I only get about halfway through. And it's just one
Cloak
of
and
those,
Dagger it's okay.
It's okay, but it's
Yeah.
not like your comic book Cloak and
because
Dagger.
I always liked
Yeah.
Cloak and
But there
Dagger.
were
good
Those
moments.
characters. Okay.
Because you know how the original Cloak and Dagger series was really like, you know, homeless, drug. They were, you know, doing drugs and stuff
Right.
like that. That's not the TV show.
Okay. Like I said, I enjoyed
Yeah.
it when I was watching it, and it was one of those things. It's, you know how like there's always some show that just with your life schedule doesn't ever fully line up, and it got away from me, and I know I want to go back and finish it, but I just never had it. I still haven't had a chance to, but maybe I will now.
The showrunner also said that there's a 6-minute fight scene. That's
Woo!
all one shot.
Well, they did that in the original Daredevil. In the
Yeah,
Hulk.
yeah, that's what he said. Like we wanted to get back to that, and I was like, yes, this is what we need. He also said that Kingpin is going to be the Thanos of the street level coming
That makes
up
sense.
because he will possibly be the big bad in Spider-Man 4.
Okay.
So
I like that.
yeah, with Daredevil teaming up with Spider-Man to take down the Kingpin.
Do they make him mayor?
Yes, it's leading up to that. He said.
Okay.
Oh,
Now,
mayor.
Leading
are
up
they
to
going to
ma-
introduce
Okay.
Yeah,
the Muse as well, or no?
don't know.
Because that character is dark, but it's probably one of the better new Daredevil characters of the last probably 20 years.
It was rumored and was mentioned while they were filming those original first 9 episodes of this new series before it got redone.
Okay.
That the Muse was part of it. So whether he's part of it now after they redo it, I don't know.
I love that character, but I also love the fact that I have all of his appearances graded and signed by what's his name that wrote the books. What's his name? He did Poe Dameron too. He does a bunch of Star Wars books now. He's from New York. He's like
Soule?
a lawyer. Soul, yes. I have.
Yeah,
They're all
Charles Soule.
signed by him, and I have a couple of them signed by Garney. 'Cause I think Garney was still out doing the artwork. But they're all
Larry
graded.
Jackson is in the house. He said, "Swear, I don't even care because the way Disney is now." Lady Fantastic says, "Ugh, I love Kristen Ritter." Yes, the Daredevil show is supposed to be about Daredevil trying to find Kristen Ritter's character because she has been kidnapped. Larry Jackson says, "Cloak and Dagger's boring. Don't waste your time, bro." Lady Fantastic says, "Roxanne as part of the storyline is awesome. It is indeed." She also says that's
Well,
behind
they've been
Weapon
teasing
H.
Roxanne in the MCU
Yeah.
for so long now. Anyway.
Yeah, and the War of she's like with Weapon H and the War of Realms and the Minotaur and all that. That's also she's dropping some knowledge over here.
Speaking of Weapon
Stores-
H, can we just real quickly laugh about the fact that Weapon H was like a diversion because everyone thought it was going to be Weapon G, and everybody went out and bought that book, and then that was not the one because that character died it, and then the next one was like, oh, it's actually this one. You remember
I
that?
don't think we'll ever see Weapon H, will we?
He had
We
his own
could
book
see
for
Weapon
what,
H.
6 issues? was
No,
it?
he had his book, but I don't think we'll ever see him.
He'll come back eventually. Some writer along the line, maybe 15 years from now. Go,
No, I mean
I
in
really
the
want to
movies
do something
and the
with this
show.
character. Oh, his
Like,
own
in the
show.
movies and show.
No way.
No, right? Yeah.
You know, they got stuff to do. I'm like, we could see a Weapon Plus saga unfold, you know.
Well, that's gonna be in Thunderbolts. Val is
some
heading
of
up
that
the
will be
Weapons
there.
Plus.
I think
Because-
if that's the case, you'll see Weapon H in much like you saw in Rise of Skywalker, where you see all the tubes with the failed experiments. I could see a Weapon H in one of those tubes in formaldehyde. I could see, just to kind of it's fan service, but not actually as a character.
Another little thing is Stephen Yeun has dropped out of being the Sentry in the Thunderbolts.
Hold on.
Yeah, who do we really blame for that? Because that excuse about about planning and COVID. No. That was years ago, the COVID excuse. Like, I do not buy it. I feel like they were like, dude, things are happening, and like, you step down and we'll give you something else later on.
You think
know?
Marvel wanted him to step down?
Yeah, I don't think that he wanted this. I think it had no, I don't think it was just money,
It's
dude.
always about money.
Of course
always
it's about money, but I don't think it's money the way you think it is. I think it's the way I think it is, where they're like, dude, the fan base is losing their mind over the Sentry thing, and like, how about you step down from the role, do something, you're gonna do something else with us later. We promise you, you're under contract for that, and like, in the meantime, we're just gonna go in a different direction. I feel that's what's actually happening, but we'll never know. And at least not in the immediate decade, we won't know. But I feel like those are the seeds of what's happening.
I wanted Ryan Gosling for the Sentry.
And who knows, we might get it.
Yeah, but then they're saying now that because Stephen Yeun was an Asian actor, it'll be disrespectful if they go get Ryan Gosling. They need to
give me a
replace
break.
They may drop the Sentry plot line for all we know.
They might drop the Sentry altogether. You're right.
We know, the public knows that Marvel's a little bit of a mess, and that between Iger and Feige, whatever, they're trying to get it all back together. They're trying to get that carousel freaking working again. So I genuinely feel this is part of that, and they're just letting him take the fall.
Listen, I think Thunderbolts is going to be amazing.
It could be. We're gonna find out.
I just want to see. I want to see Yelena come back. She is one of my favorite characters now.
I always liked
great.
Florence Pugh as an
Yeah,
actress.
she's great.
I've always liked her, but and I liked her in Black Widow, but I loved her in Hawkeye.
Yeah,
she was good.
Really good
Well, did you watch the short miniseries that was on FX? What the heck was it called that she was in? Where it was a slow moving like espionage thing where she wasn't a spy, but she was used to get to somebody else type of thing where it was like, oh, we know that you have connections here that we can use type of, what the heck was it called? It was really good.
Yeah. I didn't see that. I've seen a couple of her movies, and every time I'm impressed. And especially what, like Sam said, there's different factors on how you really buy into someone's ability to act. For me, I forget she's Florence Pugh, and I think that's great. I think it's great that I'm not thinking about it. I really don't like Tom Cruise, and part of it is whenever I am watching Tom Cruise, I can't stop thinking about it being Tom Cruise. You know,
Tom Cruise, man, he's something else, isn't he?
Yeah.
All
I
right.
didn't want to go for that example, but he popped into my head.
Let's get into this box office. Because Lady Fantastic, she wants to talk about Lord of the Rings, so we got to do the box office. Right. All right, so we got Wonka coming in at number 1. Only dropped about 35%. Wonka is strong. Listen, nothing but great things I've heard about Wonka. So I'm excited to see that. Night Swim is a new movie. I have no idea what Night Swim is.
It's a horror movie. I saw a trailer for it. It's a horror movie.
A woman sitting in her pool
Little
at
Drummer
night
Girl.
is terrorized by an evil spirit.
Little Drummer Girl. That's the name of the series if you're looking for it. It's really good.
Okay. But yeah, Night Swim came in at 2nd. Aquaman and Lost Kingdom drops only 40%, bringing in about 10 million. Yeah, I mean it's still around. Just DC's still
But what's that like
there.
total? Did that bring in like 100 million? Is that
not the domestic. Right. I believe it just reached 100 million domestic.
Yeah, it's making all its money overseas.
Yeah, it just reached 100 million domestic. It's 200.
That's up there with like
overseas is what's making it though.
Okay, but still, that's a whatchamacallit? Like that's some Indiana Jones money right there worldwide. So
yeah, Indy did about 4, right? I believe Indy did about 400 million.
I watched that a couple weeks ago. It was okay. The ending made no sense, but other than that, I enjoyed it.
But yeah, we're waiting for this phase of DC to just fade away. Just fade away.
Well,
But of
that's
course,
it.
James Gunn's going to be bringing back same actors and everything, so it's never really going to fade away.
Yeah, but in
Um,
new and exciting roles, which hopefully will work.
No.
I have
Not-
a
it's
I have
not
a
the-
feeling he's
this is
going to
not
bring
the
back
Viewers universe where
Margot
you just use
Robbie
the
as
same
Harley
actors
Quinn.
over and over.
He so far the only one we know for sure. Oh, right, that's right. I forgot. We're reusing Peacemaker. Blah blah blah. Okay. Well, hopefully they find a good way to explain to crisis this out. You know.
They won't, but
Oh, Crisis is eventually coming. You know that. You know
We'll see.
Henry Cavill and all them are coming back 10, 12 years
Oh,
down the
dude,
line.
let's not put any eggs in that
All right.
basket. It's
the
way
only
too
movies
soon.
I'm
It's
watching
gonna
at this point
happen.
are the only movies I'm watching from that whatever umbrella. I'm not even gonna call it studio because who knows what studio, but it's the same whatever. Is the Batman universe. Other than that, I don't care. I honestly don't care.
The Batman.
And if they screw that up, I walk away from that too. I'm not
He's gonna
kidding.
walk out.
And you
Well,
know
they
me,
got-
I'm a Batman guy.
Well, they're supposed to. Well, here's the thing. He doesn't want to be involved in the superpower universe,
I
but
don't
he wants to
blame him.
put Clayface and these super powered villains.
Yeah, but
into
those
his
are Batman
movies.
villains.
Yeah, but how do you make Clayface? Is he not going to be like made of clay?
I think that's explained. I don't know how you explain it. I'm sure he'll make it believable.
We'll see.
Maybe it's
We'll
a
see.
guy who has some kind of crazy disease and his skin's weird and he can, I don't know.
And then they're also introducing Robin in the next one. So
Okay.
and he will be a young boy. So
I thought the next villain was supposed to be Hush, though. Wasn't that the rumor?
That's implied. Yes,
yeah, it's implied.
that's the rumor.
There'll be a couple villains. It won't just
I'm
be
sure,
just
but I
one
think that's going
villain.
to be the main one.
And I'm sure the third movie will be the Joker thing.
If he ever gets there, I wouldn't be shocked if he never touches the Joker because that's easy, not easy answer, but you know what I mean. Like if you stay away from it, it's almost like, okay, you did something different.
Yeah. We also have Migration, made about 10 million. Migration seems to be a good movie according to people, and it's
Do wanna
hanging in
see-
there. Anyone But You is up 8%, did 9.5 million. The Boys in the Boat dropped only 28%, did about 6 million. The Color Purple dropped 60% and did 4.7 million. A lot of people are disappointed with the Color Purple's outing.
Yeah, because apparently they never read the book.
No, I don't mean the content. I mean, people are disappointed that it's not making as much as
Well,
they
because
would
it's a
want it to make.
musical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Iron Claw.
Yo,
Josh actually said it was pretty good.
Yeah, I said it was good.
Did you see it?
it's great.
Chocolate?
Yes,
What is it about? Is it about wrestling? What is it about?
absolutely about wrestling. Y'all need to see it.
Okay.
You know, I went in for the shirtlessness, and I stayed for a good plot and story. I was very impressed.
Oh, excellent. Ferrari comes in at number 8. Poor
Ferrari-
Things at number.
Ferrari's all right. Like it's about Ferrari the man, which is kind of interesting.
Enzo, right?
Poor Things.
Yeah.
The Hunger Games still hanging in there. Only dropped 36%, made about 2 million. Godzilla -1 is still in there.
I think
Wow.
that's close to
Haran.
100 million right now. Godzilla -1.
Yeah. Domestically, it's at 50 million, so that's pretty good. They don't show the worldwide. American Fiction is up 145%. Okay. Wish is in there. All of Us, Strangers, Napoleon, The Holdovers. Killers of the Flower Moon made 18,000, and Oppenheimer on his way out pulled in another $4,000. Wow. Shout out to Oppenheimer. All right. So that's your box office. What do you guys think? Leave in comments below. Let's check out these comments people are saying. Lady Fantastic says, dude, I'm so here for Lord of the Rings. I'll watch excitingly and comment through that. So we all have our passions. Tolkien's Middle Earth is my happy place.
I'm with you. I'm the one that's going to defend it.
It's coming up. Couple
two of the
minutes,
three
Lady
are gonna
Fantastic.
probably-
We thank you for being patient. Larry says, hey, Sam, you mentioned the showrunner said those Netflix show was canon. You may have dresses, but it was mentioned, well, the movies was mentioned throughout each other shows, including Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Yeah, we talked about that. It was called The Incident. Yeah. All right. We got to make Lady Fantastic happy. So
Yes.
it's time for that part of the show. And the homework was The Two Towers.
Yes.
Phil about to show off his little box set.
Yo, yeah, I still got my
get
box
mine.
set.
Hold on, I'm going to grab mine.
What copy did you watch? I watched
the
the one.
extended. I watched the extended. I said if I'm gonna watch it, I might as well watch the extended.
I was gonna say, did we not agree that
Yeah, we
we
all-
ourselves
yeah.
are not
Yeah.
committed to extended?
Because let's be honest, I don't have a regular Two Towers, and I'll also be honest. This is my favorite movie of the trilogy.
Really, it's
my
my
favorite
least.
too.
Yeah,
my least
over the multi-Academy Award-winning Return of the King. This
But by the
Really?
way, let's be honest. You know that the last one won all the awards because it
it was
was
the last
basically like, here, it's all one film. So here you guys go. Thank you for 12 hours of movie magic.
I watched some out
Oh.
of this one,
okay.
but I have multiple copies. Like I said, I have these ones too that I showed you from last week.
So the Two Towers is basically about Sauron building this other tower, and where is it again?
No, that tower's always been there. He's one.
Yeah, it's Isengard. He's not really building it. He's
Yeah.
just-
Isengard.
Orthanc
it's
is
finished.
the name
It's
of the
finished.
tower.
It's finished.
Orthanc is the name of the
basically.
tower, but it's in Isengard.
Yeah, it's finished, and basically he's sending
finished in
his
the first
armies
movie.
out. It's finished in this movie. That's why I said it's finished.
It was built in the first movie when
I
Gandalf goes to
know
visit him.
it's finished when we start this movie. What is the difference with what I'm saying?
Can I just bring up the first thing in the extended edition is we just about open with Saruman's voice echoing through Orthanc, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's beautiful because like it's this great representation of how his influence is like lurking all over, right? I thought that was cool, and like that's like the first notable thing from the extended edition for me.
Like that beginning fight, Gandalf is fighting the Balrog and stuff
Yeah.
with the sword.
Yeah.
And I was
Oh my
watching
God.
it, and I was like,
Yeah,
"Oh, this is
my
really
little-
cool." And I'm so glad Zack Snyder didn't direct this scene.
Yeah.
TM Nerdy says Cliff told me he doesn't like Lord of the Rings. Oh,
Yeah, we all know that is a lie. TM is the one who doesn't like Lord of the Rings. I'm trying to convert him for Lord of the Rings, not for anything else.
I was a little confused with the fight with Gandalf and the Balrog.
Because
they were
it's a flashback.
falling all the way down, right?
Right.
But then they end up on the top of a mountain.
No. They
don't end up on the top of a mountain?
They perish, right? But because they are supernatural beings, right?
Mhm.
Gandalf transcends, right? And this is when he becomes Gandalf the White. And then when he takes physical form, it's at the top of that mountain.
No. 'Cause
Yes.
they're fighting at the top of the mountain, and then he transcends after he's killed the Balrog.
Well, he says he fought for days and days and days. So
Right.
they
You
land
see
in
what
the
I'm saying?
water. I mean, we're splitting hairs over where they fought. Doesn't really matter. What's interesting?
It
though,
matters to
is-
me because I'm confused. I want to know.
As I saw this a couple months ago, and I never really thought about it, is that Gandalf and the Balrog are both created by the Valar. So in some respects, it's almost like two brothers fighting each other.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. But regardless, that was a great fight scene. And then I like the whole fact that
I
Gandalf
smoked
said, "And
his
then
ruin on the mountain.
Yeah. He killed the Balrog, got the experience, and leveled up.
Yes.
He leveled
That's the
up.
easy
Yeah.
one.
Excuse me. Yeah. he
Oh,
leveled
see,
up.
Lady F is all over it. You know, They fell to the depths and then they fought to the top.
Yes.
You know,
That's what I mean. So they fell to the depths and then they kept fighting and then they eventually, I
Yes.
guess, made it to the top of
Yes.
that mountain. Okay, that's fine.
Look at this, and that's when Gandalf passed to Eru. He gets sent back with more power.
Yep. That's
Now,
why he's
in
now
the book-
Gandalf the White.
In the book, are there scenes where he's talking to the afterlife people and they're like, "We're gonna send
No.
you back," or does it happen
No.
like it does in the movie?
It's very much like the movie. This movie, and actually all three of the movies, for the most part, there are some liberties taken out. We'll go into them. They are fairly close to the books. More often than not, they cut stuff out rather than changing things. There are some changes, but for the most part, like there's just stuff they didn't put in for time reasons.
This thing that
But in this version,
Sauron
you
has
get
right
some of
here.
that stuff put back.
What is this called? The Palanting or
The Palantir,
Palantium?
and there's two of them,
Mm.
As we saw.
which you'll find out in the third movie. But
So this little object that Sauron can see through, because I guess he has the other one. Is that why, or he just can
Yes.
see through it? He has the other one. Okay, that was a little confusing for me, but I was like, all right, how's he seeing through it? There's Isengard,
yep, and there's
and
Barad-dûr.
there's the eye.
It's Barad-dûr. That's the other tower. That's Barad-dûr.
Okay. All right, so shoot some things at me, man. You guys are the Lord of the Rings or Grisha guys.
So one of my favorite scenes in this movie is the scene where they go to Edoras, and Theoden is still, basically possessed, and Gandalf casts out the demon, as it were. And I go to church. I believe in biblical stuff. So for me watching that is like him literally like Jesus casting the demons out, and then
Yeah, I
killing
thought
them
that as
first.
well.
I'm
I felt
watching
that
that,
as
and
well.
I've always loved that scene for that reason. And it's
Like
just a great scene.
they disarmed them all too, so they
Yes.
just have to like uppercut the guys that are
Yes.
attacking during it. Yeah.
You would not deprive an old man of his walking stick.
Yeah, that was my favorite part right there. He's like, you wouldn't deprive an old man of his walking
And when he
stick."
does
then
it, like it
then
also
the guy
like,
was like,
affects-
"I told you to take his staff."
and it also affects Saruman because it sends Saruman flying when he
Yes.
actually breaks the like the curse, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
How about too that where if you're Theoden, right? Why do you let a guy named Grima Wormtongue be your advisor? Regardless
I'm
of where
wondering-
he came from, your last
I'm
name's
wondering how
Wormtongue.
he got possessed. Is that mentioned anywhere in the
He's-
book of how he got
he's-
possessed?
Grima was actually from there, but he is a disciple of Saruman, basically. So he uses Saruman uses him to twist his mind.
The White Wizard. Another
Don't
big
follow
storyline
the
from this.
lights.
Wormtongue implies he was a weaver of lies.
Yes.
Lies. A big part of this movie is Schmeagol. Schmeagol plays a big part
Who's
in this
not
movie.
a hobbit, was never a hobbit. Can we talk about that, or we want to wait?
Oh, he's not a hobbit.
Not a hobbit. That's one of the things that bothers me about these movies.
What is he
Again,
then?
I love them. He's
Yeah.
a river folk, which is kind of almost like a cousin of the hobbit race. But
Longfoot? What about, is he like the Longfoots?
hobbits don't swim. Hobbits don't like the water. River folk do. So they're similar, but not the same.
Right, but the text, the verbiage in the movie is not unlike yourself, or not unlike.
He says
a
you were
hobbit.
very much like a hobbit once, weren't you?
Right, but knowing.
But then when you see we'll go in the third movie. In the third movie, when it opens up, they play them off like they're hobbits.
Yeah,
Right,
Lady
but
Fantastic
they're not-
says Smeagol was a type of hobbit.
He was
Essentially.
he was a river folk. They're similar,
But
but not the same.
Do they have like
But
the
they're
same
cousins.
features? They're short and everything like that?
They're similar. They're from the same part of Middle Earth. They're similar, but again, hobbits don't like the water. They don't like to swim. They don't like to be in the water. River folk very much like the water, like fishing, like swimming, all of that stuff. So they're similar. It's almost like they're as far as races go, they're cousins, but they're not the same.
But why shouldn't they look alike?
Well, they do look similar, but they're not
Yeah.
the same.
Yeah, Lady
Okay,
Fantastic
but the movie
says.
never. The movie.
I like
never,
what Lady Fantastic says. She calls them river hobbits.
There you
And they're,
go.
and they're cousins. Basically, a hobbit. It's like saying he was a deer, but not an elk.
Sort of.
Okay, I get that. So
He was a big part of the movie though, because I like that battle like with himself. That is another one of
Mhm.
my favorite, and he has it like twice because he has
Yes.
it in front, like just about in front of Boromir's brother too,
Yeah.
where he's like basically fighting like the evilness in him, and that's such a great scene.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you noticed this, but they, I mean, obviously his cadence and the way he speaks is different. But if you look at his eyes, when he's Gollum, his pupils are really small, and when he's Smeagol, they're really big. So they look. It's a subtle to tell you the difference, whether you notice it or not.
yeah,
Oh,
Andy
it's-
Serkis did a hell of a job playing.
Like he
the whole
probably
back and
did
forth.
like so much like after these three movies, like so many things.
Well, he's Caesar in the Planet of the Apes movies.
Caesar's in the Planet of
Mhm.
the Apes.
He's
He's
also
Snoke,
Kong in one of the Kong movies.
Yep.
Supreme Leader Snoke.
He is as far as motion capture, whatever. He is the guy, and he was the second unit director, I believe, on the Hobbit movies, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, he's like taking off. Like I said,
Absolutely.
these movies, like he has taken off. Then he's even doing acting, Black Panther and Andor. And,
Well, it kind of like took the CGI thing to another level of
Yes.
like now you can have feeling with these kind of characters and stuff. Because he did a great job. It's fantastic.
So a lot of the
Um,
stuff that they added back in this one, because there's about 40 or so minutes of added stuff as opposed to the theatrical version, was the stuff with Eowyn and Aragorn. Remember, he's having the dream and he's having the conversation with her about she should go and we love each other, but that kind of thing. That was not in the original, so that gives that relationship some more color. And a lot of the stuff with Boromir was much shorter. Anytime you see Sean Bean in this movie, it was not in the theater.
oh yeah, that whole thing where like Boromir came home with like his father, and the father hates the other brother, and
Yep.
mhm.
It's really brief. You don't see any of that. If you only saw the theatrical version, you didn't see any of that.
the brother like
So-
figures out like the Ring of Power is like here and like in
Yes.
front of him. That's another like really good like thing is like how he kind of like puts it together. You could almost see that's another cool part though, like the Merry and Pippin and Viggo Mortensen's ranger ability to track them in the forest. Like
Yeah.
that whole scene.
Yes, that was great.
Yes.
That was great.
That,
This was also mentioned that he was like, is this the movie where he mentions that he's almost 80?
87.
Yes.
That was not
because
in the
he's
theatrical version either.
He's
He's a Dunedain.
he's a Numenor, right?
He's a Dunedain, which is descended from the Numenorians.
yeah.
So he's like half elf.
So it's not that ring that he has that keeps him longer life.
no, the ring is
Okay.
symbolic of power. It doesn't have
Well,
supernatural power.
And if you remember when they show you that it's not a ring of power, because Grima says, oh, he's wearing this strange ring, and then you see Saruman looking through those books and finds a picture of it. He's talking. He's like, oh, it's the ring of Bearer here, and then he goes, yeah, that line was broken long ago. I don't care what this guy says. So when he sees that ring, he knows.
What is it? It's like Gandalf thinks he's found the last heir of Isildur or something like that.
That's Isildur. Yeah. I love that name, Isildur. That's a great name. This movie also has that great Battle of Helm's Deep.
Okay, so before we start, it is a great battle. The elves, not at that battle.
No,
that got added. That's one of the things they added.
why did they add that? Why do you
Decidedly
think
not
they
in the
added
books.
that?
Definitely
Why do you think
not
they
in the
added
books. The only elf at that battle was Legolas.
Yeah. Listen, I am aware of the change, but I think
It's great for the
made an
movie.
epic scene. Epic.
It is
It
great
makes
for
an
the movie.
epic
It's a nice
scene,
touch.
a nice
I'm
little
just saying.
epic death. Like that character wasn't going to come back like any of these stories. So
It's a great touch. I'm not saying it's not bad for the movies. It's not accurate for the books, though. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Oh, the guy. Remember the guy who was missing an eye? That guy really was missing an eye. He was an extra, and like, oh no, we need to film him because he's missing an eye. It'll look really cool when we pan by. That guy really is missing an eye.
Wow.
Yeah, I love that Battle of Helm's Deep. Like, I like the that's like the battle of you know, if we fight like we're gonna die, we'll surely live. Like,
Yes.
That was
so
a great battle.
it's
yeah.
like that kind of a situation. Like, we're trapped, we cannot go anywhere. So
That's a great battle. That's the battle where Viggo Mortensen and the short guy, the dwarf guy, where he throws him.
Yeah. Don't tell
over
the elf.
there. Yeah, he said, "Throw him. I'm gonna
Toss
throw
me.
you. Like, what? Toss
Toss
me."
Don't tell the elf.
I don't know. I love it because the fact that what's Viggo Mortensen's character's name again?
Aragorn.
Aragon. Like, without knowing that he was like that descendant of that race, I was a little iffy. Like, how's this guy like fighting all these people and getting through? Like, I understand he's a great warrior, but he's just a regular. He's just a regular guy. But now in the extended side, I was like, oh, he's not just a regular guy. He's more than just a regular guy.
I didn't even think about this till recently, but so Aragorn is the once and future king that will then become king of Gondor, right?
Mhm.
Legolas is the king of the Mirkwood Elves because he's Thranduil's son, who's dead at the end of the Hobbit movie. So he's the king of the Mirkwood Elves.
So he's a king.
He's a king.
They don't
Gimli
mention
is
that,
the leader
though.
of his faction of dwarves because his father Gloin is now dead. So you got 3 kings on this quest to destroy.
They don't mention that though.
They don't really bring it up, but they're all technically royalty.
Wow.
And like, you think about it, then Sean Bean, who was also part of that fellowship, is like almost like a prince because his dad was like the
Sort
ruler.
of. His father's the steward of Gondor, who's
He's a steward,
who
he's not
watches
a
over
king.
Gondor
Yeah,
until
yeah,
the true king returns,
Yeah.
which we'll get into in the next movie. Though.
Yeah, that happens.
I also
I mean,
enjoyed.
Legolas did some really cool stuff in this movie. Let's not gloss over it.
How about Aragorn's battle with the warg? Right?
Yeah,
That was
that
was
actually
great.
is added stuff too. The stuff with the horse taking him back. That's fleshed out in this version.
Yeah, no, that's the
Yes.
part I love because there's 2 instances showcasing him as a badass ranger in this movie, and this is the other one.
And that
Yeah.
horse,
Yeah.
that horse is the horse that he talks to at Edoras and calms it down that they let go.
Is that the same horse?
That's the same horse.
Okay.
Nice.
How wild is that?
That's great.
Didn't they let that horse go?
They did. They're like, we can't use it. He's like, well, then you should let it go. And they let it go. And the horse
that's the horse
basically
that finds
thanks
him.
by retrieving it.
That's cool. That was cool. He slid down the steps.
Yeah.
That's so cool. I mean, will we consider this Orlando Bloom's breakout role?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Yep.
almost concurrent with the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. I
Oh
think
my
they were
God,
like
he
kinda-
had
they're
double
kinda-
breakouts.
Yes. And if you think about it, this came out right around the same time that Ian McKellen was playing Magneto.
Yeah.
So he's breaking out in 2 roles. And then what's his name that plays Elrond is also doing the Matrix at the same time.
Oh,
So there's
okay.
a bunch of these
Hugo
guys
Weaving.
So he came with his Matrix pedigree. The Matrix
Correct.
The Matrix
Correct.
was his breakout.
That's his
But-
first role, but I'm just saying, I mean, there's multiple people in these movies that are in another huge franchise at the same
Yeah.
time.
Were
But,
you guys upset when he showed up in the Hobbit movies? Because from what I hear, he's not in the Hobbit books.
Oh, Hugo Weaving?
Oh, there's all
No,
sorts
no,
of
no,
stuff
no,
going
no,
on in
no,
Hobbit
no.
movies.
Orlando Bloom.
Oh, Orlando Bloom. Honestly, I think by the time he showed up, The Hobbit had almost gone a bit like
It
off the
makes
rails,
sense
I
that
guess.
he would be
Like,
there, but they don't specifically mention him in the Hobbit book.
Yeah.
But it's not like it's so far afield that like I can't believe that he's in. It makes sense that he would be around.
My screen is frozen. All right,
That's okay. You're not
keep
frozen to
talking,
a
'cause-
power through. We
I'm trying
see
to think what
you.
else I love. I mean, there's a
Just
lot
wanna
of
get
good
it back.
stuff in this movie.
Yo, I
How about
have
the,
I have a list. Like, we're not going to address everyone, but I have a list of the extended stuff, right? So, the voice of Saruman, echoing through Orthanc, the funeral of Theodred,
Yes, that's right.
the fate of Isildur is expanded on, the Uruk-hai at Fangor, the Entmoot gathering is extended. The Huron's attack, they're the other tree creatures that assist in the attack on the orcs once the Ents get it together.
Right. Well,
Aragorn's
the scene where they all go running into the forest. At
yes,
the end of, yeah.
Aragorn's
It's in the
dream
book, too.
sequence. There's multiple scenes with Eowyn and Aragorn. Am I saying her name right?
Eowyn.
Eowyn and Aragorn get more scenes together. Frodo and Faramir.
Well, a lot of the stuff that's added is that.
Yeah. The Forbidden Pool, which was brought up earlier, where we actually see more of Gollum like having internal conflict.
Yeah.
Merry and Pippin's Ent adventure also extended.
The
Theoden-
end scene
yeah.
at Orthanc is
It's
not even in the
fantastic.
original.
Theoden's lament, where we actually get him expressing about the loss of his son, his doubts and
That
fears about the war. That's
is-
added.
Yeah, I mean, forget just being added. How you cut that out?
Yeah, it's
I mean,
awesome.
it's such a great scene. The lines in it where he talks about no parent should ever bury their children,
Yep.
and if I had done more, none of this would have happened. And even when he talks to Aragorn about, I haven't seen her smile in forever. She came to me, and I should have done more as her uncle when her father died, but instead she had to listen to the lament of an old man. I mean, that stuff. I don't know why you cut it out, other than for time, but.
We get to see some of the Palantir's influence, right?
Yep.
Saruman's demise, we actually get to see that in the extended edition. Why they cut that out, I don't know.
That's in the third one.
That's the third movie.
That's in the third one. You don't see it in this one. He's not. You don't see him die until the third one.
Yeah,
It opens.
he's like that was another good battle scene though. The Ents attacking Isengard was the other
Yeah,
like
that was
big
good.
battle.
Oh, right. I'm sorry. I said that wrong. We get the setup for his demise is
Correct,
in the
correct.
extended scene. The Dead Marshes
Grimm
are in the
too in the
extended
third one.
edition.
I'm sorry.
The Dead Marshes.
Don't look at the
There
lights.
is a little
Yep.
bit more of that. Yep.
We get to see Faramir tempted
And the
by
Dead
the ring.
Marshes is all of the dead people from the first movie,
Yeah.
because they didn't clean the bodies up. It just became a marsh of gross.
Ugh. We get
Shout out
more...
to Bleecker Street. No worries, Bleecker
Oh,
Street.
Bleecker, what's up? Congratulations on hitting 500 again. And no worries about running late. And what was another one I had on my list? I love the extended Helm's Deep. Eomer's Exile, right?
Right. You get
and,
some of it, but you get more why in this one.
yeah. And Sam singing, Samwise singing. He sings that
Yeah.
song about the elves while they're resting on the hills of Aemon Mule or whatever that is.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you're right.
Anyhow, those are notes that I have. And of course, when they received the gifts, because that's a big thing that when I saw the original 3 movies.
Well, that's
like how
in
to-
Fellowship, though. That's not in this one.
No, but there's a little bit of talking about it because there's no talking about it in the original version.
Oh, because he got the Elvish rope.
Yes.
And they ended up you climbing down it.
Thank you. That's what I was thinking about. All right, that's it. Those were all the things I was able to put together while rewatching this film.
One quick final thing.
Well, how about
Gandalf? Gandalf doesn't. He seems like he's been gone for a long time, because when they mentioned Gandalf the Grey, he's kind of like,
Well, he was to him. He was gone for a long time. Remember, he says, "I was out of space and time. Each whatever was a lifetime on Middle Earth." So to him, he's been gone for centuries. but
Okay.
to us, he's only been gone a couple days.
Okay.
I mean, and then it kind of teased a little bit, but I don't know if everyone fully got it. Whether in Fangorn, they think they're going to run into Saruman.
So because what it
They
is,
don't
what he
think
said,
that
like
it's
the
him.
White Wizard will know.
Right.
The
and
White
then,
Wizard,
and, then,
yeah.
and they even tease that when you see him, because it's Christopher Lee and McKellen's voice on top of each other, and it slowly turns into
And when, like,
McKellen's voice.
Yeah.
Gimli and Legolas and Aragorn, they actually attack like when they
Right.
run into
Yeah.
him.
He's
I
like,
remember
"Don't let him talk, 'cause he'll be
the
with
Ent
us."
says that Saruman used to walk with him in the forest.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So, yeah.
The
All right.
wizard should know better.
All right, let's give our numbers for this Lord of the Rings: The Two Towers. Phil, you're first.
I'm first. Like I said, this is my favorite of the set. So, like of the trilogy, this is my favorite. 9.5.
9.5.
Yeah,
Big
this is
number.
9.5. This is a
Okay.
this is an epic movie, and it's a great movie, and it's like, it might be like one of the best like fantasies like ever. And I
Alright.
liked it better than Return of the King and the other one, Fellowship.
Okay, Cliff, you're up.
It's my favorite. Great acting. I love the extended edition. Action packed. It had everything. 10.
10.
There you go. All right, yeah,
I think that's the first
Oh.
10 I've ever given.
yeah. This is
Okay. I'm gonna give it 8.5. I'm sorry, because it was not my favorite of the trilogy. It was my least favorite of the trilogy, to be
Ooh.
honest. Yes. But that doesn't mean I don't think it was a good movie. I think it's a great movie. I love the trilogy in a whole, but I'll give it an 8.5. Green shirt guy.
So again, I agree with you. And I think I said this before we started. Of the three, this is my least favorite. That doesn't mean hold on. That doesn't mean I think this is a bad movie. I will watch this before I watch a lot of others. I think this is a great movie.
Yeah. I agree too.
Of the three, this is not my favorite though. This is my third favorite. They're all my favorite children, but this is my third favorite. I would give this a 9. I think I gave Fellowship a 9.2, 9.3 last week. Return of the King's my favorite, without question, for a number of reasons, and I'll give you my score next week. So this, I have to give this
Right.
just slightly lower than Fellowship, and because I gave Fellowship like a 9.3, and this has to be a 9. If I give Fellowship a little bit higher, I might give it like a 9.5. But so I would give it
All right.
a 9 even.
So we got a 10, a 9.5, a 9, and an 8.5. Great numbers for this Lord of the Rings: The Two Towers. Remember, next week we're finishing off the trilogy. It's Return of the King.
And you know what? My actual, because these came out in like December for like Christmases. So what happened was my sister like got them, and we were all gonna get Return of the King. So I borrowed hers before like Christmas came. So my Return of the King like this is still sealed. So I'm gonna
Is that
have
right?
that open.
Never
Nice.
open it, Phil.
Never opened it.
Send it
I'm
to
gonna crack it
PC.
There's the,
Before we get out of here,
for this one.
oh God, we're gonna talk a lot about that tomorrow.
Oh, we're talking about what now?
CGC grading
No.
books. Should we do it
Oh.
anymore? That's the question.
No, can we just do the key points? Like all we
We'll
need.
talk about it. I'm not saying the whole show is gonna be live, but we'll talk about it. Let me just give some shout outs to everybody that came through today. Shout out to Comic Cap Collectibles for tuning in today. Shout out to Kamaria for tuning in today. Shout out to Manny the Hobgoblin Collector for tuning in today. Shout out to Lady Fantastic for tuning in today. Shout out to La Cruces 1971 for tuning in today. Shout out to Larry Jackson for tuning in today. Keep going, you'll see. Let's see. Shout out to TM Nerdy for tuning in today. Great
John.
friend of the channel. Just going down with these comments, seeing who's in here. Shout out to Bleecker Street for tuning in today. Shout out to Cali Comics for tuning in. And that's it. I want to thank everybody for tuning in today. Great show, guys. We had a nice little discussion on part 2 of the Lord of the Rings. Remember, next week, your homework is Return of the King. We are finishing out the trilogy. So make sure you watch Return of
Last
the King.
one.
Preferably the extended editions. If you don't have time, don't watch the extended. Just watch the regular one if you don't have time. But we're going to watch. I've already watched it. We'll watch the extended editions. And tune in next Sunday at 5 p.m. at 2 p.m. Pacific, and we'll go over that as well as all the other film and box office news. And we'll also be talking about Echo, because Echo will be out by then. I also saw Rebel Moon, so maybe we can talk about that a little bit.
Oh, Rebel
watched
Moon.
I
Yeah.
watched that.
Wasn't too happy, but anyway.
Good. Neither was I.
think-
I could agree with that. I agree with that
I
one.
just don't want to. I don't want to disappoint Steve, because I know what
If
Steve loves.
you're looking for a Star Wars movie, I think you're disappointed. If you're looking for
Yeah.
a Dune movie, you're okay.
Yes, I can say
I
that.
think
feel
you'd
it's
be
more of a Dune
disappointed
type.
too.
Yeah.
I liked it.
I thought a little more preparation could have been put into that movie, is what I thought.
Can I just tell you that this is extremely high praise from Lady Fantastic, because other than Ronaldo, I don't know anyone who is so into Lord of the Rings.
I
Like,
love Lord of the Rings.
Oh,
It's
thank you,
yeah,
Lady
no,
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Star
appreciate
Wars
you being
and then
here.
Lord of the Rings.
Yeah,
Literally.
she is so into it, and
Excellent.
I'm glad we delivered an entertainment value.
Please come back next
Happy
week
to.
to hear all my glowing stuff about Return of the King.
But before next week, we have tomorrow night at 8 p.m., 5 p.m. Pacific, new keys and hot comics of the week, where we go over all the new keys, all the hot comics. We're going to talk about this CGC slabbing thing. It's a little ridiculous, but we'll talk about that. And that'll be tomorrow. Same place.
And you'll have a
same-
special guest,
Oh, Cliff, you're not going to be here tomorrow. Who's
right?
coming in
Izzy
for
will
you?
be filling in for me. and
Izzy's
Brian.
coming in. Oh, that's excellent.
All right.
And I will be on Between the Lines with TM Nerdy and Geek Out with Roscoe, where the theme of the evening will be Legion of Superheroes for everybody to draw at home according to the theme. So, Green Shirt
Okay.
Guy, I want you in on it. submit from home.
Yeah, absolutely.
Excellent. So I'll have to send Izzy the link for that tomorrow. Excellent. I'm excited for that. All right, so tomorrow, 5 p.m., new keys and hot comics of the week. And that's our show for tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you watch Return of the King for next week. And we want to thank everybody for watching. We want to thank everybody. Please like and subscribe. We appreciate everybody's comments and support. Bleecker Street, you should rank trilogy, Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, Back to the Future. We'll think about that. It's the year of trilogies, so we're gonna watch a lot of trilogies this year. So excellent. All right, so for myself, for Phil, for Cliff, for Green Shirt Guy, and the rest of the Council of Comics, we thank you for watching. We love you. We'll see you next time. Peace. Wait. Peace. I got it.
Black is like the brightest day. Where are the heroes?